don't actually need Zoom for this session. Live stream ready? Good. Okay. We'll start roll call. ASEP Algeria. F of Austria. CAPC Canada. CZPSA Czech Republic. PPSA Poland delegated to CZPS Czech Republic. ANF France. BPHD Germany. ISMA FASI Indonesia. PPHSF Pakistan delegated to ISMA FASI Indonesia. IPSA Iran. IPSF Egypt delegated to IPSA Iran. APS Japan Japan. IPSA Malaysia. KMPSV the Netherlands. QFAS Qatar delegated to KMPSV the Netherlands. FJC PPHA Philippines. NZEPSO New Zealand delegated to FJC PPHA Philippines. AFA Portugal. LPSA Lebanon delegated to AFA Portugal. KNEPS Republic of Korea. JPSA Jordan delegated to KNEPS Republic of Korea. FESFA Romania. NUSPS Singapore. NEPS Australia delegated to NUSPS Singapore. SPSA Slovakia. Okay. DSHFSA Slovenia. CPSA Croatia delegated to DSHFSA Slovenia. PSET Thailand. TPAYC Turkey. BPSA United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland. APHA ASP United States of America. Great, if we can all raise your voting cards to count the number of voters in the House. Slovakia, are you going to raise your voting card? Okay, we have 30 voters in the House. Thank you.
Okay, so we need a procedural motion to resume the standing orders. FJC PPHA Philippines. Okay, seconded by Anne France. All those against? Thank you. Motion number 28, proposed by executives. This, the 69th IPSF General Assembly, accepts and adopts the report of the chairperson of the reception committee of the 68th IPSF World Congress 2023. Mr. Noah.
Okay, so hi everyone. My name is Emmanuel Justino as the chairperson of the 68th IPSF World Congress. And through this mandate, I am thankful to be able to serve as the chairperson of this World Congress. And it has been a long journey, but a very remarkable and profound journey for me. And in this mandate, along the way, throughout these 2 years, we have prepared a lot of things, and I hope that it can reach to you right now the fruit of our hard works. And along the way, we have held regular meetings over the year, And then we also keep a good relation and communication with the EXCO, and also gain 5 sponsorship. And also we have revised countless time of the budget, and also have cut off around 75% of the initial budget. And also we have prepared the venue and all the hotels around 6 months before the World Congress begin. And yeah, I think that's all, and I am very happy to be able to serve you as the chairperson of this World Congress, and I hope you will enjoy and can feel our warmness throughout Bali. Thank you.
Thank you. We will now open the floor for discussion. KNPSB Netherlands.
Anne KNP's with the Netherlands. So you state in your report that the targeted participants were 400 to 500, but there is only a confirmed and paid amount of registrations, 450. Why do you think this is? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Noah. The floor is yours.
Thank you for the questions. And yeah, initially we set a expectation of 400 and 500, but I think the main reason why we only get around 150 is because due to the global financial crisis and inflation, and maybe it's affecting on how people sees money, and also maybe in our generation there is.
Okay, we have a direct from KNPSB Netherlands. Okay,
Yeah.
finish your clarification.
Maybe on our generation there is less people that have experienced an offline IPSF events, and that maybe affects on how enthusiastic people want to attend the World Congress.
Okay, thank you. The direct KNPSB, floor is yours.
Anne KNP Sweden Netherlands. Thank you for answering that question. What would you advise the next RC to set as an expected amount of participants then, or how do you feel like you can help them improve the number of participants? Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Noah, the floor is
Thank you
yours.
for the questions. My suggestion for the next RC is like setting 3 conditions, like pessimistic, optimistic, and realistic, where the pessimistic is around 100, let's say it's the worst case, and realistically speaking, it could be around 150 until 200, but optimistically, like the highest number could be touching even 250 until 300. Statistically, seeing the number of participants from Bali and also Egypt. And also to increase the number of participants, I think by going through a lot of promotions and also describing the location of the next World Congress, and also promoting the locals also intensely.
Thank you. We have a procedural from ABF Portugal.
Beatriz Apaf, Portugal. We would like to raise a procedural motion to set a certain timing for the answers.
Okay, can you specify the time?
2 minutes? 2 minutes, if possible.
Okay, so do we have a seconder? KNPSB Netherlands. Open floor for discussion. Anyone has any comments? BPHD Germany, go ahead. Oh, this is for the, main discussion? Okay. Any new comments on this procedural motion? Okay, we have point of information from Motions Committee.
Luca, Motions Committee. Okay, just regarding limiting time, can you specify if you want yes, I mean if it passes, it's like for the rest of GA, including elections and everything. That's okay.
So you need to specify if this is only for this report or for reports?
No.
or for other matters? Yes?
Sebastian.
Okay.
Sebastian's Motions Committee, just to let everybody know that this procedural motion affects every single discussion and everything afterwards. Thank you.
Okay. IPF Portugal, are you okay with that? Yes. Seconders okay with that? KNPSV Netherlands, you're the secondary. Bonapati. Okay. But point of information comes first, so motions committee.
Look, a motions committee. Okay, so now if it passes, it affects on the answers until the end of GA, but you can amend it later. Okay.
Okay. So, any comments on this procedural motion? I see none. We go to voting. Anyone against? CAPC Canada. Anyone else? Okay, then motion carried. Okay, so motion carried that we're limiting the time of each answer to 2 minutes. We will proceed with the new comments. We have next with Portugal.
Beatriz IPF Portugal, thank you for your report. We would like to know what suggestions you would have regarding communication, because we've seen that during this event we have gotten some mixed information. So in a span of very short time we get maybe ambiguous information. So what could you suggest that could still be implemented, and what suggestions do you have for the next chairperson of the World Congress? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Noah. The floor is yours.
Thank you very much for the questions. And yeah, I've heard and I've received some complaints regarding the misinformation, and last night we have a meeting and we try our best to have a more centralized information. And I think for the next World Congress chairperson, I think it's best if we really account for the time the delegates need between the events and the mobilizations for it. That's it.
Okay, thank you. Next we have IPSF Iran. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Dorian Efsa Iran. Thank you for your hard work. I actually wanted to ask that I faced some difficulties regarding the emails that was sent to me about the fee of the conference, which they were not dissimilar with each other. And when even I arrived here, the information given to the committee was different with the final information given to me. And the reasons were not clarified to me until I asked for clarification. Wanted to know that what was the problem regarding that. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Noah, the floor is yours.
Can I please repeat? Can you please, specify?
Okay, can you please clarify your
Sure.
question?
Dorian Efsa Iran.
Raise your voice, please.
Sure. I wanted to ask that why I received actually different emails with different fee amounts needed from the World Congress Committee, and even when I arrived here, the finalized fee was not delivered to the committee. Thank you.
I see.
Thank you. Mr. Noah, the floor is yours.
Thank you for the question. Yeah, it was a mistake due to the exchange rate dynamics, and I have told my treasurer that we should have set the fixed amount earlier rather than give you later emails regarding the fixed amount that you need to pay. But yeah, inputs is taken. Thank you.
We have a direct from BPSA UK.
Patrick Kerr, BPSA UK. Due to the actual final amounts that we would pay for the ticket fee, it was advertised 540 euros for the first phase. However, then we also got an email stating that we have to pay bank transfer fees, even though I already, and many of my members within the MO, already paid the bank transfer fees prior to sending the money through our own banks. So I'm quite confused over, and both my members are quite confused over how we have to pay extra transfer fees at the other side. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Noah, the floor is yours.
Okay, thank you, and I'm sorry because there is some mistake that we hadn't calculated regarding the exchange rate and also the fees. Usually it is like an administration fees for the banks, and hence resulting in the amount we received is less than the amount you transferred. And regarding that, we have specified it in the second phase of the registration, where we added some extra fees for the administration fees, so that the delegates doesn't have to pay more in Bali.
Okay, thank you. Next comment. We have CZPSA. Okay, sorry, we have a clarification from BPSA UK first.
Patrick Kerr, BPSA UK. Can I just get a clarification in terms of what you mean by the administration fees? Because are they directed towards the bank here, or what are the administration fees exactly?
Yeah.
Okay, Mr. Noah, please clarify.
I think there is several sources for the administration fee, but yeah, usually in our bank there is a extra fee when you are doing an international transaction, and when you're doing an international transaction, and also the conversion between the euro and Indonesian rupiah usually contributes to that fee. So.
Okay, we have a point of information with IPSF executives. Floor is yours.
Isaac, IPSF President-elect. So usually for transfer fees, even when you pay the transfer fees at your end, it usually doesn't cover the recipient's country's transfer fees. So even for me, whenever IPSF reimburses a travel to me, I still have to pay transfer fees locally in my country. So that's what he's referring to at administration fees.
Okay. Mike with CZPSA, Czech Republic.
Dominika, PSA Czech Republic, would like to ask, why was the first phase ended so early? Because it was promoted as not a certain number of participants, but it was promoted as a time period, and it discouraged some of our members because they waited, because they thought that will still be able to apply in the first phase and pay less, but yeah, then they suddenly ended. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Noah, the floor is yours.
Yeah, we ended the first registration early because we have set a quota, and we have mentioned it before the first opening of the first phase, and this is due to assuring that all the delegates can register until the end of our registration period. Thank you.
Thank you. We have point of information from IPSF executives. The floor is yours.
Thank you. I just wanted to inform the General Assembly that this has all been a recommendation from the Executive Committee to ensure that the World Congress will have place instead of cancelling last minute, and have a clear expectations of how many members we are expecting in order to ensure that the event will have place in good conditions and avoid the miscommunication or the issues that happened the year before, to ensure that this World Congress will be successfully running. Thank you.
Thank you. We have a direct from CZPSA.
Dominika, PSA Czech Republic. Like, we fully understand that it was necessary and that only a certain amount of people are allowed in the first phase, but we really think that for the future it should be clearly stated during the promotion, so people are aware that they really have to be one of the first ones and not wait for until the time period ends. Thank you.
Thank you. Next we have Anne France. Floor is yours.
Pauline, ANEP France. First of all, thank you to all the received from the French delegation. What impact will the low number of participants have on your treasury? What are your plans to fill in this financial hole? Thank you.
I'm sorry.
Thank you, Mr. Noah.
Can you please repeat? I don't really.
Can you please repeat your question slowly?
What impact will the low number of participants have on your treasury? What are your plans to fill in this financial hole? Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Yeah,
Okay,
so of
Mr.
course,
Noah, the floor is yours.
of course, the low number of participants will impact our income budget, and we decided to cut some of our RC to spend less in the expenses for the RC accommodation.
Thank you. Okay, answer done. Next point. CZPSA, floor is yours.
Dominica, seated PSA Czech Republic. So just a small comment also to the registrations. As in the beginning, when the phases, like there were breaks between them, and like we received the link, but they're like not sure if also the link will work for another phases. It was like very difficult to promote it for our association. So also suggestion just for the future events is better if like the registration like is happening only like there are no breaks in between, only with one link, so we can just always keep it in our social media so people can register whenever. Thank you.
Thank you. Next we have BPSA UK. Floor is yours.
Patrick, BPSA UK. Regarding the low attendance from the Southern Hemisphere, in particular Australia and New Zealand, have you reached out to those two countries and asked them whether got an explanation in terms of why they aren't present here at GA?
Thank you. Mr. Noah, the floor is yours.
Can you repeat your question?
BPSA, please repeat your question.
Patrick Carr, BPSA UK. Have you reached out to countries in the Southern Hemisphere who aren't in attendance here today and here this week in terms of why they weren't in attendance, particularly Australia and New Zealand?
Thank you. Mr. Noah, floor is yours.
Australia and New Zealand.
Okay, we will take the point of information by IPSF executives.
Thank you so much, Ryan, IPSF President. I would confirm that IPSF Executive, led by the internal chairperson, and myself reach out to all member organizations through the regional chair or personally to their CPs, and even president sometimes, which is the case for Australia. And it is not really for the chairperson of the RC to reach out to member organizations, or they are responsible for the promotion, which they did, and it is for us to contact CPs, and which we did, again, through all the regional chairpersons. Thank you. That's my point of information.
Thank you. We have a direct from BMFFUI, Indonesia.
Thank you, Chair. This is Heidi from BMFUI Indonesia. Since the countries mentioned, Australia and New Zealand are in the Asia-Pacific region, so personally, as one of the member organizations there, I have personally received direct information from those MOs themselves. Actually, NAPSA Australia tried to send a delegate to World Congress, but the official delegate that was meant to be here, she canceled last minute due to personal reasons. So they really did try to come for NAPSA Australia. Although for New Zealand, we didn't really receive personal information, but that's just one information I could tell the Assembly. Thank you.
Thank you. We have another direct from BPSA UK. Dropped. Okay. Next we have BPHD Germany. The floor is yours.
VBPHD Germany. So first of all, congratulations and thank you so much for your ongoing work. And we want to refer our question to the sustainability motion that was brought forward at the last GA about the chairperson reporting about the sustainability aspects for the organization of a World Congress, such as choice of venue, choice of menus, food, and choice of items of the goodie bags, which we believe met the sustainability aspects, but in choice of menus, we noticed that there are a lot of water bottles and also plastic food containers, which do not really meet the ideal aspect of sustainability. So our question is, did you put effort into choosing sustainable options? Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Noah, the floor is yours.
Thank you for the question. Yeah, we do put a lot of efforts in sustainability, such as we are switching the venue and the hotels to be not far and is in a walking distance, so that we don't have to spend transportation also. And also we provide with the dispenser so that participants can refill their water bottles. And regarding the plastic bottles, it is unavoidable as we want to provide some emergency or for ease of the participants to get the water.
Thank you. We have a direct from BPHD Germany. The floor is yours.
VBPHG Germany, thank you so much for your answer. In this case, we would recommend for you to put forward your efforts or recommend it to the next chairperson to give the attention out to the efforts that you took. Thank you.
Thank you. Next comment. We have my PSA Malaysia. The floor is yours.
Hello, thank you so much for organizing this. I'm Michelle, I'm from IPSA. So actually for the, I'm referring to the registration because actually during the first phase, we were having exam that time. So like we thought that first phase we have our place secure as ODs. But at the last time when we were trying to register, the places are actually announced like out of sudden that it's closed. Like regardless, I tried to see the email. I didn't see any first come first serve basis during the first email until the second phase. There's only the mention of the first come first serve basis. So I would like to ask, like, is there like is it like mentioned in the first phase? Because really I couldn't see it at first. And regardless, during when they announced about the first phase that's closed, I actually emailed like the reception, and also I emailed a lot of committees, but none of them respond in 2 weeks times, and I didn't get any response at all until I see it in the IPSF group, Google email. Yeah, thank you. Can I get an answer for it? Thanks.
Thank you, Mr.
Thank
No.
you.
The floor is yours.
We did mention that we are on the first we have set a quota for each phase so that you will have to register as soon as possible.
Okay. My PSA, just a reminder that you stated more than 1 point, so please specify one question this roll call and then take another roll call to ask your other question. So the mic is like, it's a direct, okay?
So may I request that, because we are all sending 3 ODs, right? Is it possible if like you guys can reserve like 3 places for ODs during the first phase next time, so that in the case that we can actually register during our first phase? Because actually our association actually allocate money for us for the first phase registration only. So in this case that we are like not able to register for first phase, we will have to pay by ourselves. So yeah, thank you so much.
Okay, Mr. No, the floor is yours. IPSF Executive's point of information.
Ryan, IPSF President. So regarding that, we usually have 2 for ODs and 1 for regular reserved for the World Congress, and not 3. Thank you.
Okay, next point. Next point. Okay, APF Portugal, the floor is yours.
Beatriz, APF Portugal. Regarding the certificates for the World Congress, we've seen so far that there's a QR code being shared for the attendance, but in previous events we have used Eventbrite, and we acknowledge that it might be easier this way, but you cannot really check if people are actually attending the sessions if you don't use a regulated system. So we would want to ask, why did you choose not to use Eventbrite? And yeah, that's it.
Thank you, Mr. No. The floor is yours.
Okay, thank you for the questions. For the attendance, we are using Google Form, and also we have some of our RC, like regularly checking on who is coming and not. And the reason why we don't use Eventbrite is, to be honest, it's not common in Indonesia to use that system, but thank you for your suggestions. I will put it into suggestion for the next World Congress RC.
Thank you. Next we have EFSA Iran.
Dorian EFSA Iran. So as I remember correctly, you mentioned that the venue and the accommodation were clear and specified 6 months before the GA. So as receiving visa in our country depends on giving the name of hotel, I just wanted to know that if it was possible to tell us and let us know the venue and accommodation earlier or not. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Noah, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Yes, the reason why we didn't announce, because we haven't paid the down payment, and we don't want the participants to have misinformation before we have down payment the hotel, because we are also seeing how the registration progress, like the number of participants, it all goes into our account for the decision of the hotel and also the venue. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we have a new point from PSA Taiwan.
Sorry, I raised the wrong number. This is Emily from PSA Taiwan. Thank you for the floor. So thank you, Emmanuel Noah, for your efforts in organizing this great event. But I have a question because I want to ask, like, how does the communication works between the group that announce important information? Because a lot of like important issues like the hotel venue or some workshop links, they were announced through Instagram stories instead of announcing by CP emails. And CPs don't really receive the message until some of our delegates found that on stories, while some of the information are actually not the final decision. So yeah, that would be my question. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. No. The floor is yours.
Yeah, thank you for your questions, Emily. Yeah, supposedly.
Can you please repeat the question? PSA Taiwan.
So the question is, how does the communication works between the groups that announce important messages? Like, are they sent to people that manage the Instagram or Facebook, or to people that send out emails such as registration team?
Okay, thank you, Mr. Noah. Please answer.
Yeah, it was sent by people who is in charge of the registration team initially, because we want to give all the information to the CPs through email.
We have a clarification from PSA Taiwan.
Sorry, can you clarify your answer again?
Can you please clarify your answer, No, Mr. No?
Yeah. You were asking if why did the information is sometimes late for the workshops link?
No, she's asking.
Okay, so we are telling we will broadcast it through the group leaders for the important informations, and they will ask for our approval first before sending and broadcasting the message.
We have a direct from PSA Taiwan.
Okay, so I want to give a suggestion that maybe in the next mandate, like maybe you can announce the important information first to CPs instead of releasing them on Instagram story, because it's like a rather non-formal way to announce such important messages, especially like hotel venues and workshop links and all the deadlines. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Noah, you have a clarification?
Yeah. Regarding the important emails before the World Congress, we are sending it through emails first to the CP, and then the Instagram will come later on.
Okay. Okay, Ifsa Iran, the floor is yours.
Mojde Ifsa Iran, first of all, thank you for your effort. And my question is that as some associations have delegated their vote to other participating associations, we are in real need of Wi-Fi and close communication together. So what's your plan to provide it for us during the GA? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Noah.
Yeah, there was some issue in the Wi-Fi because initially we have both, and we have provided the Wi-Fi to external Wi-Fi's, and it's supposed to be arrive around the 4th of January. 4th of August, but the delivery has some issue, and hence it was delayed, and it was expected to come around 6 until 11 of August. And then for now, we will be providing the reimbursement for the GA for the data plan as mentioned by the EXCO.
Thank you so much. Next we have KNAPS Korea. The floor is yours.
Thank you for the floor. Min Jae from KNAPS Korea. It's not a question, it's more closer to a suggestion. Because all the announcements are made via group chats of each groups where there are like 11 plus groups. So people from different groups are receiving messages at different time, and some of them are even receiving like today's agenda today morning, which is I think not correct. So I was wondering if it's possible for you to create a big group chat of all the participants and use that chat room to announce the important things that should be made instead of using like group leaders announcements. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for the suggestions, and we will.
Mr. No, that was a suggestion. Do you have something to say?
Yeah, thank you for the suggestions, and I will try to accommodate with the big groups for the important informations.
Okay, thank you. Do we have any other comments? Do we have any other comments? I see none. Close the floor for discussion. Proceed to voting. All those against? All those abstaining? One abstention. Motion carried. Mr. No, would you like to say something? Would you like to say something?
Yeah, thank you for the questions, and thank you all of you who have participated in the World Congress, because without you we can succeed.
Thank you. Thank you. Can I just ask the General Assembly to raise your voting cards once again, because we need to confirm the number of voters, but please, those with delegated votes, hold them in separate hands just to make sure that we're all counting correctly. CAPC Canada, we're counting all votes right now, just to make sure the number is correct. Thank you very much, everyone. So I just wanted to assess the floor on something. We have Mr. Nazim, Media and Publications Chairperson, in the Zoom chat. He has just arrived. I know we have already closed the motion of his report, but since he's here, I wanted to assess the floor to see if you guys want to hear from him. Assess the floor, thumbs up, thumbs no. Hear from him, yes. Don't hear from him, no.
Point of order.
Point of order, Motions Committee.
Sebastian, Motions Committee, just to remind everyone, when there's one abstention, you must count all of the votes. So all of the for is against and abstentions.
Okay, thank you. So back to assessing the floor. We need everyone's thumbs up or thumbs down on this. So everyone please react, because we're getting mixed votes. We need to see where we're going. Okay, so I see mostly thumbs up, so we will be giving him the floor. Mr. Nazim, can you hear us?
Hi, yes, I can hear you. Hello, everyone.
Please go ahead.
Yes, thank you. So hello, everyone. First, I wanted to apologize for being this late. I'm dealing with like personal matters at the moment. It's very like, taking some time. So anyway, now for the annual report. So this mandate has been very interesting in terms of media and publications. Most of you already know the problems we faced last year with MNP, like the challenges. So the main goal was to not only improve that, but, transcend the potential that MNP has. So during my mandate, I focused mainly on 3 points, which are branding, marketing, and website, of course. So you can see in my annual report like some stats about like those are yearly stats of Instagram, mainly Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter. We released the third version of the IPSF branding book, which is the most updated one since 2019, I believe. That's in terms of branding. We also worked on IPSF TV in collaboration between branding and marketing coordinators. Um, we have actually we opened a thread, like a new platform for IPSF, which is Threads, and we also have a Telegram channel. And we established a midterm report of like this data analysis, we make. So basically, we focus on marketing and branding, and like we have pretty satisfied results, which are like 164 Ks for Facebook reach, and like almost 90,000 for Instagram. Anyway, now back to the website. It's been very tenuous because like it was pretty hard to manage between the problems of all the platforms at the same time and communicate them to Tipify. My IT manager and I successfully wrote down a rehabilitation plan, which I believe is available to you at the time. And we're pretty confident that with the help of the task force and IT manager, that the next MMP chairperson will be able to successfully fix the website, like, for good. So, yeah, if you have any questions or anything, I'm happy to hear from you. Thank you.
Thank you. This is this isn't a motion for discussion, so it's either you raise a procedural for something, or a clarification, for example, BPSA UK.
Patrick Carr, BPSA UK. Can I just get a clarification why we're listening to the person speaking? Just because I'm not too sure what's coming of this, given the fact that we didn't approve his report.
Thank you. So the point is that he wasn't present this morning and we didn't have a motivation to table this motion, so we didn't have any clarification to present to the General Assembly, but since he showed up, so we asked to assess the floor to see if they wanted to hear any clarification or justification to it. It's not supposed to lead anywhere if you think it's going to, but it's just assessing the floor, and the floor was given to him to talk, so that was the point. We have a clarification from BEMFFUI.
Thank you, Chair. This is Heidi from BMFUI Indonesia. Since the motion was already rejected, the possibility of tabling this motion or opening another discussion is it not possible?
Since this motion was open today, we can reconsider the motion on the same day. We need a proposer, we need a seconder, and 2/3 of the voting need to be for in order for this to be carried. Clarification from BEMFFUI.
Thank you, Chair. This is Heidi from BMFUI Indonesia. Motion to reconsider a motion cannot be done in the same day?
It can be done in the same day, so it can only be done today.
I see. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Okay, so next motion. We need the next motion. Okay, so motions committee will be providing the exact wording from the official documents on reconsidering the motion. Point of information, motions committee. Point of information, motions committee.
Sebastian, Motions Committee. So 4.1.6.g of the standing orders says a motion to reconsider a motion. If the motion to reconsider is passed, the original motion may be redebated and revoted upon. A procedural motion to reconsider the motion may only originate from an official delegate who was present during the voting on the motion in question. So it does not have to be on the same day.
Thank you for the clarification. So,
But the official delegate must have been present earlier during that agenda point.
during the agenda point.
Thank you.
So this does not apply since he was not present during the agenda point. Moving on to the next motion. Okay, excuse me. So apparently the official delegate needs to be present during the report, so during the motion. So since you guys all were attending, so any one of you guys can raise the motion. So PD? Okay, so since this morning we couldn't present the PD report because he was in the PD competitions, and now we have the PD chairperson present. So is everyone comfortable with having the report held right now? Thumbs up. I see thumbs up. Thank you. So yes, everyone said thumbs up. Motion. Isaac, motion, please. It's not up. Motion number 23, proposed by executives. This is the 69th IPSF General Assembly accepts and adopts the report of the Chairperson of Professional Development 2022-23. Mr. TK, please present.
Thank you, Chair, for the floor. Hi, everybody. This is TK. I stand before you as the Chairperson of Professional Development. And I'm here to share with you a little bit more about what I did this year. So this year, one of the things that you guys see in World Congress of the Physical Organization of PD competitions, we worked together with the research committee of NOAA's team to work together on cases, to work together on the timeline, to work together on how we can support the project, motivation, some technical support, workshop, and judging. So I did a little bit of that this year. I did a little bit of cases and judging for regional PD projects, so April and Afro. Was that, and then there was a small workshop that I conducted for Euro, and worked together with APPS PD team in problem solving and deconflicting the cases between the World Congress PD cases and the APPS PD cases. Second thing is actually about PD survey, where I attempted to identify the gaps, left a lot of blueprints for what does professional development mean in IPSF for you, trying to identify what are some of the gaps that in the member organizations that IPSF may tend to fail. That also is something that is drafting towards something called the charter or the framework that I'm currently drafting out, where we talk, because I felt that when we do PD in IPSF, we tend to be a bit more a la carte. Okay, this is patient counseling, this is industrial skills, this is clinical skills, but we've not really looked at how pharmacists as a whole picture fit in together. So that's something that I'm piecing in together with the inputs from the PD survey. But I believe that this is a little bit challenging to complete it within my mandate, and it's something that I'll be passing on to the next mandate. The third thing is actually me as a nominated training member for training committee. So I help to organize and deliver LIT sessions for APPS, IPSF team meetings, online Paro leaders in training, and help with the troubleshooting for the Euro TDC. So other things that I worked on are team management tools and how I can structurize the PD a little bit better. in a sense, this year I faced a lot of challenges working with my team. A lot of it is time zone differences, and also a lot of it is the capacity of the team in the know-hows in how we might organize PD events. So that was one of the main challenges that I faced. I did find that trying to structurize how PD team is run internally, trying to be even more clear in defining what each team member played could have been a way to resolve the challenges I face. On a more happier note, 4 competitions are open right now for those who can't make it to the physical events. So please do circulate to your members for the 4 events. Last but not least, there are a few things that I owe to the CPs in terms of formal documents is the updated guidelines, the analysis from the PD survey that are aimed to be ready in 2 weeks' time. If you guys find that team charter is helpful, you can also circulate it to you guys. But either way, I felt that this year, the main challenge is really is communicating with my team members, leveraging on their time and resources. I think that was something that I could have really significantly improved in communication. I think, yeah, that's that. But that being said, I felt that this year, the physical organization of PD events in World Congress went smoothly, or is going smoothly so far. And we also prepared very well in terms of the judging rubrics together with the RC team and the cases. Also attempted to really try to bring what does it mean to organize, I guess, the taste of PD at IPSF events, right? So regional symposia and World Congress. And I cannot end my mandate with not having a PD event, so currently a PD event is opening for the month of August, so please do come and join. That's pretty much about it. Before I give back the floor, I would like to thank the EXCO for our support and everybody else throughout the mandate. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. TK. Now we open the floor for discussion. We first take the clarification from BMFFUI.
Thank you, Chair. Heidi from BMFUI Indonesia. Since this is an open discussion, would interdelegation time be given, or is that only for closed discussion? Thank you.
Yes, interdelegation time can be given at any moment when requested by official delegates. So we have first BPSA UK. The floor is yours.
Patrick Kerr, BPSA UK. We would like to know, and BPSA would like to know, why was your report uploaded late? Thank you.
Point of information by IPSF SecGen.
Point of information, IPSF Section 7. Thanks for the floor. The report wasn't submitted late, so all of EXCO reports were submitted on time. I think it was more technical.
Okay, thank you. Next we have Asipa Algeria. The floor is yours.
Sarah Asipa Algeria. So thank you for your mandate. We would like, our question is regarding the call that was released, I think, yesterday. Yes. So there is a motion in the motions in first. Yes. Regarding the PD events, that it shall be announced 3 weeks before the event. Why wasn't that deadline respected? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. TK. The floor is yours.
Thank you. I took the interpretation of that 3 weeks as the actual date of the event. So the preparatory webinars and all those is a preparatory towards the conducting of the actual event. So the release and the actual end of the date were calculated that way. I might have calculated the date wrong, but please do let me know if the math doesn't add up. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Next we have EFSA Iran. The floor is yours.
Thank you. Thank you for your hard work, Dorian EFSA Iran. I wanted to know that how do you evaluate your communication with your coordinators and subcommittees during this mandate? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. TK. The floor is yours.
Thank you. It was poor.
Okay, we have a direct from Abe Portugal.
Beatriz Apa, Portugal, can you further develop on why this communication was lacking? Thank you.
Thank you. Let me just start. Okay.
Clarify question? Wait, sorry again? Mr. TK have the floor.
Thank you.
Sorry.
I just wanted to clarify. It sounds like an excuse, to be honest. It's a lot of time zone differences. So the difference between me right now and my mentee in IPSF in the past was that I have a full-time job now compared with the students. My colleagues, majority of my colleagues came from Afro and Emerald region, GMT +2. So by the time that my colleagues finish their school time, and get to IPSF work in the evening, it's 2 a.m. my time, 1 a.m. my time. It was something that, it was a decision that I made. Okay, it was challenging. I think we also have differences in expectations, differences in preferences, in how we could work together. And honestly, I think it's a people problem rather than a structural problem. If that
Okay.
answers the question.
Thank you. Comment? Next comment. Do we have a direct from BPHD Germany? The floor is yours.
The BPHD Germany. So regarding that question, it has come to our attention that there has been no communication with some of the coordinators at all. So even though you know there are difficulties, did you still try to communicate with them? Because it seems like there was no trying. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. TK, the floor is yours.
Thank you. I tried as much as I could in my capacity with the resources that I've had. Yeah. So I wouldn't say that I didn't try to reach to them as much as possible. And I also feel bad to decide on something and tell them, hey, you need to do this. So I rather, if there's a task and if it's urgent, I think it's not good to pass it on to that person and be like, okay, nothing. So a lot of it is compounded to that. So I wouldn't say I didn't try.
Okay,
Thank you.
we have a technical from Motions Committee.
So actually, Motions Committee, I think the microphone's rubbing on your shirt or something.
Yeah, just
okay.
TK, hold the mic
Thank
away
you.
from your face. Yeah, that's perfect. Next we have ASIPA Algeria Direct.
Sarah, ASIPA Algeria, we understand that there are time differences between you and your coordinators, but I think if you get a message via WhatsApp, it's still, you are still able to answer, like even if that's later. We have some information that you didn't answer messages from your coordinators from November. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. TK, the floor is yours.
Thank you. It is not untrue. And, it's okay. It is not untrue. It is out of no disrespect. I think it was a circumstance, I wouldn't say circumstances entirely, but it happened. And what I focused on was to put out something for the members. I feel sorry to coordinators, all 5 coordinators who came on board. And that is something that I can't defend and I can't logically, rationally, other than to say I'm sorry, but yeah, so it happened and you're right. Thank you.
Thank you. New point from IPSA Iran? No? Okay. APF Portugal, the floor is yours.
Beatriz APF Portugal. Right now you mentioned in your presentation the lack of know-how on how to organize PD events by your coordinators. Did you try to give them trainings on how to, or was there also a lack of communication and management problems that didn't allow you to actually kind of teach them how to be good at their respective jobs, I guess?
Mr. TK, the floor is yours.
Thank you. So I think there's 2 layers to it. I think one is expectation. I wouldn't blame it on them that they know to. I wouldn't think that it's inadequacies. I think it's just how it played out, and whether I had the capacity to carry, I wouldn't say carry, but to do that guidance. When the mandate started, I was quite overwhelmed by a lot of team members, a lot of whom I didn't know how. I didn't know how to. I have not worked with in the past, so I didn't know how much of a PD organizing that they were familiar with. So I felt immense amount of pressure. That's one, in trying to lift everybody up in terms of their skills, not just coordinator really. And then what else? So I would say it was too much at the start, at the overwhelming, when we were trying to build all the team members up to a level that says, okay, my MOs can approach them to ask. Yeah. So yeah, I think that's all I have. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Next we have the SHIF versus Slovenia. Dropped. Thank you. Next we have BPSA UK.
Patrick, BPSA UK. In the call for participants, you only mentioned the CSE coordinator and signed on behalf of the committee in the rest of the calls. What is the rationale or the reason behind this? Thank you.
Sorry, Mr. TK, the floor is yours.
Thank you. I would say it's not on them. So the lack of communication was a thing, and I didn't want to take it on them that, hey, look, we have to deliver this. So I single-handedly created these 4 events, and it's not because they wasn't able to, but I felt bad about, okay, I need you to give me this in 2 days, for example. That was the rationale why. And why the CSE coordinator's name is on this is because we worked on it intermittently at some point in the mandate, and this is where it comes to fruition. There is one more event to be released, where we work together with one of the coordinators. So yeah, it was what it is. It was nothing pretty much about anything personal. Thank you.
Thank you. We have a direct from ASIPA Algeria.
Sarah, ASIPA Algeria, we understand that you couldn't involve the other coordinators in the work of the last call, but were they informed about the event being held? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. TK. The floor is yours.
Thank you. And no.
ASIPA Algeria, do you need a clarification? Okay, so next. We have us for Romania. The floor is yours. Dropped, okay. BMKMFAUGM. Sorry for that.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. My name is Gava from BMKMFA UGM. May I ask for an interdelegation discussion for 1 minute prior to voting? Thank you.
Okay. We can have it after this discussion. APF Portugal.
Beatriz of Portugal. Could you elaborate a little more on how you would increase LIT participation, since it's one of the events that you mentioned in your report? And from the chairperson of the World Congress report, we can see that the attendance on this event was like a third or half of what it was expecting. So what improvements and how could we attract more students to this kind of events? Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. TK, the floor is yours.
Thank you. I just will speak in the capacity of a training committee member, and perhaps as a PD chairperson separately, and also on a physical organizing of the events. So as a training committee member, the decision making, most of it, of organizing LIT goes through the training coordinator, as well as the RCs that host these events. So I didn't really have that first-hand experience in, okay, this is registration, this is, you're gonna do the syllabus, you're gonna do, these are the trainers. So I didn't have that input, right? So I was asked, okay, deliver this session, okay, I'll deliver. So as much as organizing training stuff is involved, it wasn't my primary, but rather I was a member of the training team. Secondly, as a PD chairperson, training leadership skills is pretty much the stuff within the training portfolio, and the kind of technical expertise is pretty much needed in my opinion, in my capacity to the PD chairperson to develop as future pharmacists, right? So it's pretty much relevant, and yeah, we should work on it. And lastly is the physical. So it's intertwined in the sense that, oh yeah, there's technical expertise, there's syllabus, we work on more of that. But also, you know, when we come to co-organizing these events, it's not just under my jurisdiction that these things go as planned. I'm sorry to hear that people couldn't make it due to various reasons, but yeah, that's as far as my input goes. Thank you.
Thank you. I have a point of order from KNAPS Korea.
Thank you for the floor. Min Jae from KNAPS Korea. I was wondering if the chair is aware that there is a 2-minute response time limited for the discussion time, and that if so, who is keeping the time of 2 minutes for the response time? Thank you.
Oh, thank you. We will keep eyes on that. Thank you for the reminder. Next we have VHD Germany.
VB PhD Germany. So could you explain more about the execution of the tracking tool? How is that different from the Google form created last mandate for tracking the PD events? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. TK.
Thank you. One of the primary roles of PD chairperson is to kind of see the growth of professional development organizing at the local level. So that means last year in the past mandates, well, the chairperson of PDs, I cannot say that every past PD chairperson did it. They look at the activity reports and they see out and they say, oh, this is the number that PD events that local organizations have made. But this year, my priority was really physical organizing of PD events and have IPSF member to have a look of proper organization of physical PD events. If I can control globally, if I can contribute to World Congress, that is a priority first. And then second priority went into regional offices. So that means if my take was that if anybody knows how to organize PD, it shall be the global team and the regional teams. And MOs can come to these events, they see how it is run and they can learn from it. So I didn't do a lot of the tracking tool for the local MOs because of the priorities is being set to conduct proper PD running at the global and the regional level for now, for this mandate. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. So we will begin the interdelegation discussion now for 1 minute. Okay, everyone, the minute is up. Everyone, please return to your tables. Does anyone have any new comment? I see none, so I close the floor for discussion and we proceed to voting. All those against? All those abstaining? All those for? Okay, I'm sorry, we're gonna have to repeat the voting. One voting card is missing. So again, against? Okay, all those abstaining? All those for? Okay. So the results are 21 for, 9 against, 1 abstain. Motion carried. Congratulations. Yeah, would you like to say something?
Thank you, Chair. Just wanted to say thank you for the feedback, first and foremost. Appreciate it. If I make a mistake online, please email me too. I appreciate it a lot. Secondly, I hope you look forward to, if you didn't sign up for this, there was prize money involved in World Congress, PD events, coming from PD Fund. If you did, yeah, it's okay, but I hope you look forward to PD events, and I will work towards handing over the succession properly to the next chairperson of the next team, and I also remain available for any advice during PD, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the Congress. Thank you.
Thank you. So we just want to assess the floor for those with 1 official delegate of the full members. It has been raised as a concern that we don't have much break for restroom. So those with 1 official delegate, do you need a break now, or can you guys continue with the session? You need the break? Okay. Clarification from CZPSA. Give her the until when's the session? It's until 5. Then yes, you need the break. Okay, then we need to suspend the procedure. Standing orders. Sorry, we need to suspend the standing orders proposed by F of Austria, seconded by FJC PPHA Philippines. Anyone against? None. Okay, Sue, roll call, please.
Okay, ready? Ready for roll call? ASEP Algeria, F of Austria, CAPC Canada, CZPSA Czech Republic, PPSA Poland delegated to CZPSA Czech Republic, ANE France, BPHC Germany, Isma Fasi Indonesia, PPHSF Pakistan delegated to Isma Fasi Indonesia, IPSA Iran, EPSF Egypt delegated to IPSA Iran, APS Japan, MyPSA Malaysia, KMPSV the Netherlands, QFAS Qatar delegated to KMPSV the Netherlands, FJC PPHA Philippines, NZEPSO New Zealand delegated to FJC PPHA Philippines, AFED Portugal, RPSA Lebanon delegated to AFED Portugal, KNEPS Republic of Korea, JPSA Jordan, delegated to KNEPS Republic of Korea. VESFA Romania, NUSPS Singapore. NEPSA Australia, delegated to NUSPS Singapore. SPSA Slovakia, the SHFSA Slovenia. CPSA Croatia, delegated to the SHFSA Slovenia. PSA Thailand, TPAYC Turkey, BPSA the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland, APHA ASP United States of America.
Okay, everyone, so since it's a bathroom break, so it's only 5 minutes needed, and so we can proceed with the agenda. Please don't be late. Thank you. We'll start at 35 sharp.
Okay, thank you. Special shout out to KNF's and PSA Taiwan, who got me sore throat candies for my voice. You guys are so cute. Okay. Starting? Okay, cool. ASEP Algeria, FOP Austria, CAFC Canada, CZPSA Czech Republic, PPSA Poland delegated to CZPSA Czech Republic, ANEF France, BPHD Germany, ISMA FASI Indonesia, PPHSF Pakistan delegated to ISMA FASI Indonesia, IPSA Iran, EPSF Egypt delegated to IPSA Iran, APS Japan, MyPSA Malaysia, KMPSV the Netherlands, QFAS Qatar delegated to KMPSV the Netherlands, FJC PPHA Philippines, NZEPSO New Zealand delegated to FJC PPHA Philippines, AFE Portugal, RPSA Lebanon delegated to AFE Portugal, KNEPS Republic of Korea, JPSA Jordan delegated to KNEPS Republic of Korea, FESFA Romania, NUSPS Singapore, NEPSA Australia delegated to NUSPS Singapore, SPSA Slovakia, DSHFSA Slovenia, CPSA Croatia delegated to DSHFSA Slovenia, PSET Thailand, TPAYC Turkey, BPSA United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland, APHA ASP United States of America. Great, everybody has their voting cards. Please raise them all so we can count the number of voters in the House. Thank you.
Okay, we have 31 voters. Thank you. We need a procedural motion to resume the standing orders. CAPC Canada, since she did CAPC Canada, and seconded by EPIF Portugal. And anyone against? None. Thank you. Motion number 29, proposed by executives. This is the 69th IPSF General Assembly accepts and adopts the financial report of the chairperson of the reception committee of the 68th IPSF World Congress 2023, Mr. Noah.
Okay, so hi, we meet again, and standing beside me is Raya, my Secretary General, and she will help me assisting in clarifying regarding several questions that might have come up later. And I will cut it really short, and you guys must have read my reports before, and I will summarize in the sheets of summarize expected financial budget. Our total income source is around 89,207 euros, and our expected expenses is 86,466.17 euros without unexpected. But if we add the unexpected budget, it will result in 95,112.79 euros. If you have any questions, feel free, and I will do my best to help your answers. Thank you.
Thank you. We have a clarification from KNPSV Netherlands.
Anna, KNPSV the Netherlands. So just to clarify, are we asking questions only about the expected financial, like that tab, or is it like the entire 5 tabs of the spreadsheet? Thank you.
Okay, so the answer is the entire file. Okay. So new comments, we have APF Portugal.
Beatriz APF Portugal, thank you. On the report, the transaction, the conversion rate from rupiah to euro was not always constant. Sometimes it was divided by 16,000 and others by 1650, like 16,500, sorry. So we would want to ask why this exchange rate kept changing throughout the report. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Noah, the floor is yours.
Thank you for the questions. Because there is some increase in the exchange rate, and we had to adjust it time by time. Thank you.
Clarification from APEF Portugal.
Beatriz APF Portugal, can you please repeat slower, please?
Okay, Mr.
Because
Noah.
there is an increase in the exchange rate, that's why we have to adjust to it time by time. Thank you.
Thank you. And next we have KNPSV, the Netherlands.
Anne, KNPSV, the Netherlands. So compared to the bid you gave, the participation fee increased a lot, like with 60 euros, I think. So what was the reason for that? Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Noah, the floor is yours.
Yeah, because our venue has the biggest cost, and we had to cover it, and we have to set that price. Thank you.
We have a direct from KNPSV, the Netherlands.
Anne, KNPSV, the Netherlands. Thank you for answering that. But was it necessary to expand it with 60 euros? Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Noah, the floor is yours.
Yes, because the venue covers almost half of our total expense on the budget. Thank you.
Thank you. APEF Portugal, floor is yours.
Valeria of Portugal, I would like to ask for a clarification on what means the word decor, D-E-K-O-R, in the part where it speaks about social events, since the gala night decoration appears already below. So it's like double.
Thank
Thank you. Mr. Noah, the floor is yours.
Thank you for the questions. I had some mistype in that. The decoration for the gala night was on the events department, but on the bottom one is actually for the shipping and also service for assembling the decoration here. Thank you.
Thank you. APEF Portugal.
Beatriz APF Portugal, it's the wrong person, but
Okay, apologies for that. So next we have KNPSV Netherlands.
Floor, KNPSV, the Netherlands. We were wondering, the cost for the whole Congress for the hotel was 97 euros per person, but when we wanted to book one extra night, like at before it in the same hotel, it would be 40 euros extra per person. So we were wondering where that came from. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Noah. The floor is yours.
Because the price put on our budget here is, we are assuming one room is for the 3 person, hence the price is divided into 3, and we'll put into the account, because when you add an extra night, it is not on the negotiation with the hotel, and we had to, and the hotel would not give us the exactly same rate, so that's why they are asking for more. Thank you.
Thank you. Next we have KNPSV, the Netherlands.
Anne, KNPSV, the Netherlands. Like if I read it right on the report, you have 178 RC members. Do you think all those were necessary, or do you also think those could be like lowered for the next World Congress? Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Noah, the floor is yours.
To introduce myself, my name is Raya as the General Secretary. So to answer that, personally, initially we had expected a larger amount of reception committee to come to Bali, but because of the need for cutting a budget, we did move that down. But because we had to order some uniforms for our committee itself, which is why we had accounted for 178. But for continuing congresses, we do believe that it is possible to have it at a lower number to also help with our budget, to help with future budgets in the Congress itself.
Thank you. Next we have KNAPS Korea. Floor is yours.
Thank you for the floor. Min Jae from KNAPS Korea. I'm not sure if the budget plan is updated, but I was wondering how the SIM card reimbursement will be done, because it's missing in the budget plan. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Noah, the floor is yours.
Thank you for the questions. Yeah, it hasn't updated since it was a last-minute decision, and we will update it. And yeah, I can say that it is within the unexpected budget. That's why we set the unexpected budget. Thank you.
Thank you. Next we have IPF Portugal.
Valeria of Portugal. On the income and expected financial page, why isn't LIT and PCT included in the income part? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Noah. The floor is yours.
I'm sorry. To further clarify, the registration for phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3 is summarized with the LIT, World Congress, and also PCT.
We have a direct from IPF Portugal.
We would suggest that it would like be separately there. Thank you.
Thank
and
you.
Valeria of Portugal, sorry.
Thank you. Okay, next comment. IPF Portugal.
Beatriz of Portugal. Can you further develop on the transportation costs for the event? Because you charge 30 euros per participant, but the real costs split amongst everything, it's 218 euros and something. If there were 40 people that actually paid for the bus, the money that they would be paying is way more than this. So we would like to ask how the transportation costs were done.
Thank you, Mr. Noah. The floor is yours.
Can you please repeat your question? Because I was also looking for the sheet that you meant.
Yes, Beatriz of Portugal. For the transportation costs, it was charged to the participants 30 euros, right?
Don't ask questions, just
sorry.
state your clarification.
If we had 40 people to pay for the buses, because you said it was 2 buses that you rented for the Congress, the amount paid per person would be around 5-ish euros, and the amount of money that people actually paid for it, it's 30. So we would like to ask what kind of math was done surrounding this. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Noah.
Thank you for your questions. And it wasn't updated because we decided to change it last minute because the arrival and departure of the participant is so varying, and we are receiving requests for different days and different time. That's why it is not plausible to use a bus for the shuttle, and we decided to use a personalized car for the pickup and departure. We use a car.
Thank you. Next we have IPF Portugal.
Valeria of Portugal. We would like to clarify how many people actually went by transportation provided by you then. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Noah.
It is 24.
Okay, thank you. We have a direct from KNPSV, the Netherlands.
Floor KNPSV, the Netherlands. The transfer cost, I'm sorry, you mentioned 30 euros. I thought it was 15, but like per person. But how was it calculated? Because we did it for 1 person, and then 2 persons came with, and we were told that we had to pay twice the 15 euros, but it was the same one car, the same one ride, everything was the same, so I don't know where the extra money came from. Could you clarify, please? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Noah. The floor is yours.
Yes, because it is due to we are not sure if let's say one car, we are not able to make sure that it will be fulfilled, like the capacity will be full. That's why we decided on putting a safe price that if worst case, our car only pick up 1 person at a time, we will not take a loss. Thank you.
Thank you. We have a clarification from KNPSV, the Netherlands.
Anne KNPSV, the Netherlands. Can you clarify how much you now charge per person? Was it 5? Was it 15? Was it 30? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Noah. Go
We are
ahead.
charging 15 euros per person.
Okay. Next we have Fast for Romania. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Alex Fast for Romania. My question is regarding sponsors. What was the main problem or main problems in securing more sponsors for more money?
Thank
you.
Mr. Noah?
So in relation to the troubles that we had in relation to sponsors because of the transition from online to offline, a lot of companies saw that this was still a very unstable type of event that may happen, especially when we were trying to promote our Congress to companies very early on. So only when it was very much closer to the event, they saw that there was actual stability within the Congress itself. So hence we were able to secure at least a few sponsors, thankfully, for this Congress. But those, I think, were the biggest kind of hurdles that we saw because they were interested, but they didn't see if this was a for sure event. But also our budget plan had been quite large at the beginning, so we didn't want to take that risk to help us earlier on. Thank you.
Thank you. Next we have KNAPS Korea. Floor is yours.
Thank you for the floor. Min Jae from KNAPS Korea. Looking at the financial report, there are 2 different hotels, 14 people residing at Harris Kuta and 141 residing at Episode. I was wondering how these 2 were separate. How did you choose 14 people to reside? What was your choice behind it? And because the price is different, I was wondering if the participation fee they pay, people paid by who's living in Harris and who's living in an Episode is different. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Noah, the floor is yours.
Thank you for the questions. And it hasn't also been updated because we decided to put all the participants in the episode for the sake of, to put the participants in the same condition. And we decided to put Harris as it is cheaper for the RC and for the excos and the speakers and judges because it is relatively closer to the venue. Thank you.
Thank you. We have a technical from Motions Committee. The floor is yours.
Sebastian, Motions Committee. Please, may the motion be amended to intermediate financial report, as we think this should be the correct wording.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next we have KNPSV, the Netherlands. Floor is yours.
Floor, KNPSV, the Netherlands. Since the Wi-Fi is not working right now and we are using our data, you stated that you will compensate us for it, but what are you going to pay that from? Because we think it might be an unforeseen cost, but you're already almost at the max, we think. So could you clarify on that? Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Noah, please go ahead.
Can you please clarify? We didn't hear you clearly. I'm sorry.
KNPSV, the Netherlands, please clarify your question.
Floor, KNPSV, the Netherlands. About the Wi-Fi cost, like we are using data and you stated that you would compensate us for it, but what are you going to pay that from? Because we assume it's an unforeseen cost, but could you clarify? Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Noah, please go ahead.
Thank you for the questions. As I have mentioned earlier, that it is within our unexpected budget, and I will assure that we can provide you with the reimbursement that we promised.
Also, just to add on, within the budget itself, I believe we do have a section specifically for Wi-Fi, and for the previous portable Wi-Fi that we've bought, that is still below the budget that was spent. So we will be using that remaining budget as well to help reimburse the data itself.
Thank you. Next we have KNPSV, the Netherlands.
I'm at KNPSV, the Netherlands, so we just want to make a general recommendation for next World Congress, because now you have so many RC members, and apparently we also pay for their transportation costs, which is quite high right now. So the more reception committee members, the more we pay from our fees, and the fees have already gone up. So just for the EXCO and the next organizers of the World Congress, please take that into consideration and be aware of it. Thank you.
Thank you. Next we have MyPSA Malaysia. Floor is yours.
Hello, hi. Thank you so much for doing the financial report. I have just one issue to clarify because I can see that the transportation for us to go to the excursion trip is actually Matasari Beach. So, but from what I see is that day we weren't at Matasari Beach at all. So I would just like to have clarification on that because based on Google Maps and also based on the what the participants have said, we are not at Matasari Beach at all. So can I have a clarification on that? Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Noah, please go ahead. have a clarification from Abba Portugal, sorry.
Beatriz Apa, Portugal. Can you please repeat and speak a little slower? Thank you.
Thank you. My PSA Malaysia, please clarify your question.
Hello, sorry for my speed. But all right, so I was saying that actually the cost that we pay for transportation fee, I believe like is for us to go to the Matasari beach. Actually, we were at the area, so there's nothing wrong with the transportation. But I'm just seeking for the clarification. I'm just... Sorry, I'm just seeking for the clarification because if based on the Google Maps and also based on the activities, I believe that we are not at the right beach that day. So because Matasari beach is at right opposite of us and the beach that we are at is actually called as Pengebab beach, so which has way lesser activities than what Matasari can provide us. So I would just like to seek clarification on that because we were quite excited for excursion trip. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Sorry
Just
again.
a reminder that we need to be directing what our speeches to the chairperson of the General Assembly, not to specific people. Thank you, Mr. Noah. Go ahead. Okay. Your question isn't related to the financial report. It is related to the general report. Your question should have been presented during the report of the reception committee chairperson. So unfortunately, your question is invalid. So you are next in the roll call. My PSA Malaysia. Floor is yours.
Thank you for the floor. So Hong Cheng, my PSA Malaysia. So may I get a clarification for the expenses allocated for the excursion return ticket ke Telangu in the financial report? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Noah. Please go ahead.
Thank you for the question. It doesn't be updated as we are moving it to the Mertasari beach. Thank you.
We have a direct from my PSA Malaysia.
So I believe like the Matasari beach does not cost any cost, right? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. No.
It actually does because we need to pay some service fee. Yeah, and also some entrance fee, but we have paid that all for you in advance. Thank you.
Thank you. Just a reminder, everyone, to state your name and member organization when given the floor. Do we have any other new comments? I see none. So we close the floor for discussion and proceed to secret voting. We need... So we need all Indonesians to leave the room. All Indonesians, all Indonesian delegates, Isma Farsi, you need to delegate your vote to another member organization because you will be leaving the room as well. Point of order, motions committee.
Sebastian, Motions Committee, this isn't a secret vote, I believe, and they don't need to leave.
IPSF executives, you have an argument? Okay, so just give us a second to settle on this. Thank you for not leaving. There was just a miscommunication. So everyone can stay put. We just will proceed to voting. Clarification from Abba Portugal.
Let APF Portugal, but will the Indonesian Association vote? Thank you.
Yes, they will. Like, they still have the voting right. No one's leaving. It was a miscommunication. Let's just cancel the last minute. Okay, so we'll proceed with voting. All those against? All those abstaining? Motion carried unanimously. Congratulations. Okay, just because yesterday we couldn't see the results behind Sue, so can I get a confirmation everyone can see it behind Sue? Come on. I'll just take that as a yes since it was back and forth. So thank you, everyone. Motion number 30, proposed by executives. This the 69th IPSF General Assembly accepts and adopts the financial report of the chairperson of the reception committee of the 67th IPSF World Congress 2022. So we have a point of information from IPSF Secretary.
Thanks for the floor, IPSF Secretary Suin. So because the chairperson didn't anticipate the reports today, we are moving ahead of the agenda. So he's currently at work and unavailable, which is very understandable. So we were wanting to ask the floor if they're okay with tabling the motion until session 6 tomorrow, when he will be available to present.
Okay, so we need a proposer and a seconder to table the motion proposed by Abbe Portugal, seconded by Anne France. All those against? Okay, thank you. Next motion, please. Motion number 31, proposed by executives. This, the 69th IPSF General Assembly, accepts and adopts the report of the chairperson of the reception committee of the 70 IPSF World Congress 2024. So about this, okay, so it's the 69th IPSF World Congress, apologies. So we were approached that we want to table this motion to after any incoming motions, because KEPSI Canada has a raised motion in the incoming motions that needs to be discussed, and it affects their report. So if anyone can propose table this motion. Proposed by AFOP Austria, seconded by FJCP PHA Philippines. Thank you. So we don't have to hold discussion for this. So anyone against? The procedure can be discussed and not discussing. Okay, thank you. Next motion, please. Motion number 32, proposed by executives. This, the 69th IPSF General Assembly, accepts and adopts the reports of the Permanent Officer and Advisory Board for the 2022-23 mandate. Permanent Officer, please present. Present. I told you to present. We can't hear you. The mic isn't on.
It's okay. Hi, Isaac, Permanent Officer. So for this mandate, I've been working hand in hand with Isabella. We should be presenting together, actually. Because she probably did more of the work than I did, but essentially we took care of the flat and we visited the headquarters also. So I went to the flat twice. Isabella went more than twice because she's more in Europe. We took care also, we had meetings with the OHC, and then I took care of the permanent officer emails. I shared all correspondences that were coming in directly to the permanent officer email with EXCO. Yeah, I think those are mainly, also the automated systems, which is the CP forms, the CP reports, which is the AMORs, and then also membership reports as well. For handover, the plan is to deliver an in-person in EM1 if I get a chance to be elected next year. And yeah, I really wish to thank Isabella a lot because she did a lot of the correspondences in person on the ground because she frequented the flat more often. So I really want to extend my regards to her and also to thank KMPSV Office Helping Committee because they helped us with all our investigations and sometimes interpretations from Dutch to English. And then also to thank Kishan for cooperation as well on most of the financial matters. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Now we open the floor for discussion. Together. Double IPF, Portugal.
IPF Portugal. So you refer a lot of times the IPSF flat on your report. So we wanted to ask for an explanation about the issues that you had regarding the flat. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Isaac, the floor is yours.
Isaac, Permanent Officer. So regarding the flat, we had some structural issues or like, I don't know how to put it, like some of the windows didn't have curtains. We didn't have some kitchen supplies as well. Like we had to buy a new microwave, we had to buy a new kettle, some other issues. And then also the bathroom, the sink wasn't draining very well. So we had to contact the landlord to get meetings to get them resolved. Yeah.
Thank you. Next we have IPF Portugal.
Beatriz IPF Portugal. In your suggestions, you say that the next permanent officer should continue exploring the options for IPSF to purchase our own flat as the price rent in the Netherlands keeps skyrocketing. I think this is the question you were anticipating because you're smiling. But if the prices of rent keep skyrocketing, probably the prices of owning a flat also be very...
Just fix your hand like this. Yeah, exactly.
Will also be very high, so we would like for you to elaborate on this question. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Isaac.
Thank you very much, Isaac, Permanent Officer. So my feeling on this matter is that if we're paying more for the flat, that's a property that we own. So it's going to be more feasible than paying rent to someone else. And at the same time, for this particular issue, I think it's important for the next mandate to investigate because we've had it on record for at least 5 years now that we've been thinking about buying a flat, but we've never really put a lot of effort into it. So I think an investigation, first of all, before we do anything else will be great. The second thing is that I've also had a conversation with KMPSV around the logistics of that, and they've given us some recommendations. So I think all that should go into consideration when we're talking about purchasing the flat. But I personally think that paying for something for IPSF is better than paying it as rent outside. Thank you.
Thank you. Next we have KMPSV. Oh, sorry, direct from IPF Portugal.
Beatriz IPF Portugal. Do you consider that IPSF has the financial stability to own property right now? Thank you.
Mr. Isaac, the floor is yours.
Isaac, Permanent Officer. Yes, I don't think we have that kind of money right now, but I think the best move right now is to allocate some funds from the General Archives, set that aside, and then start a fund towards it. The plan is not to buy it within the next 2 or 3 years, but probably to save towards buying it, in my opinion. Thank you.
Thank you. We have another direct from BPSA UK.
Patrick, BPSA UK. We just feel that buying a property and buying a house in The Hague, which is one of the most expensive places to buy a property in the Netherlands, is just slightly not okay, particularly with our members, because that's doing them a disservice, because they should be getting the most out of IPSF opportunities. and we believe renting a flat is sufficient in terms of making sure that IPSF is present in The Hague. We don't believe that it's necessary to go purchasing a house, given the fact that IPSF and the IPSF Regional Working Group meets, you know, only on a number of occasions, along with the Exco and along with the SEB team as well. They're meant to meet during the mandate too. So therefore, we feel that it's doing a disservice to our members basically by purchasing a flat. We think renting the flat at €700 is very feasible given the nature of property prices and rent prices in the Netherlands. Thank you.
Thank you. We have a point of information, KNPSB Netherlands.
Anne, KNPSB the Netherlands. Just as a point of information, the prices have gone up in the last year. To buy something in the Netherlands compared to a few years ago. And also the rent has gone up, that's true. But for the amount of room and space, the rent IPSF pays right now is relatively low compared to what, like if you would gain a new house, like buy a house or rent a house, it will probably be higher compared to a few years ago, just as a point of information.
Thank you. Mr. Isaac? Yeah, point of information.
Yeah, so the rent is actually almost 900
Can
euros.
you please clear your voice?
Okay, Isaac, permanent officer. The rent is actually almost 900 euros now, since July 1 this year.
We have another direct from BBSA UK.
Patrick, BBSA UK. Correct me if I'm wrong, the Netherlands, but from my experience of renting property in big major European cities, €900 per month for a 3 to 4 bed flat, which is the flat in The Hague, is very, very cheap.
Okay, next we have a direct from CZPSA.
Dominika, CZPSA, Czech Republic, just like wanting to ask if it's really then necessary in this case to even have the IPSF flat. We're not saying that should give it up, but it's not really used that much. It's empty most of the time. So if it's really necessary to have it, and if it's not just possible to get a hotel or an Airbnb. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Isaac, the floor is yours.
Isaac, permanent officer. So the history of us owning a flat is based on the fact that we used to have permanent officer residing in the Netherlands for 1 whole year. And then aside from that, we used to also rent it out to students and interns of FIP who used to come and would cover the cost of it being empty. I think for the past 3 years, due to COVID, we haven't been able to utilize it for that. But that has been the main goal of having the IPSF flat. And that was the background with which EXCOs from previous years suggested the whole buying IPSF flats thing.
Thank you. We have a technical from IPSF section.
We're just having a technical, the connection is spotty, that's why the speakers list wasn't being updated.
Thank you. We have a direct from KNPSB the Netherlands.
Floor, KNPSB the Netherlands. I don't know, it's more of a suggestion, but you were talking about the renting prices being very high. As Anna already said as well, the buying prices are even higher, and if you now want to buy a house, it would be very overpriced for what it's actually worth. So, but you already also said that you were gonna investigate it. So maybe it could be an idea for in several years. But right now, would just, in our opinion, not be really the right time to do so. But I think that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. CZPSA, you had a direct.
Dominika, CZPSA, Czech Republic. So maybe in this case, the investigation should not be about buying a house, but investigating how the flat could be used better and how to find some internships in the Netherlands, and then going into buying something that for now is still not very usable. Thank you.
Thank you. We have another direct from AFOP Austria.
Alex, AFAB Austria. Since we were also mentioning now the market prices are skyrocketing for housing, and so have we also considered to like invest in different means, which is more efficient than the housing, because it's an investment we are doing, and we are betting kind of on the future that we will pay less rent or pay more rent than we would expect in 30 years of paying the loan.
Thank you. Mr. Isaac, floor is yours. Oh, we have clarification from Ape.
Beatriz Apa, Portugal. Can you clarify on what kind of investments you're talking about?
Ape Portugal, please direct your question to the chair. Ape of Austria, please clarify your question.
Alex, AFAB Austria. I wanted to know if there is like any look into other investments, like going into stocks or metal or something else like this.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Isaac.
Isaac, permanent officer. So because of the non-profit status of IPSF, doing such things, especially in Europe, is almost next to impossible. It threatens our position with external partners, especially the UN agencies, and also in the Netherlands with our KVK registration status that we currently possess. But over the years, EXCOs have been trying to find sneaky ways around those rules. We've not been successful, but we're still seeing. So far, even with the rent to interns, we don't make a profit. We only charge them to cover the cost of running the flat. So we don't even make a profit on that.
Okay, thank you. We have a direct from Canada. Go ahead.
Farah, Capsi Canada. So if I understood well, it's been 3 years that it has not been like you haven't have any profit with the rent, right? So why are you still renting?
Okay, thank you. Mr. Isaac, floor is yours.
Isaac, permanent officers. Can I clarify the question?
You have a clarification, go ahead.
Do you mean profit from us renting from the landlord or profit from us subletting it to interns?
Capsi Canada, can you please clarify your question?
From the interns, like having a zero deficit with the renting the flat.
Thank you. Mr. Isaac, go
Isaac,
ahead.
permanent officer. So we've not had it with interns due to COVID. So there's not been like in-person internships in Den Haag. But we've still used it for EXCO and European Regional Office RWG meetings. So in that sense, we've not been breaking even. We've been technically sort of running out of loss, but at the same time, it's necessary because the EMs are very important and EXCO need a place. And also when the president visits for FIP meetings, that's where they stay as well.
Okay, please remember to state your name and member organization when given the floor. We have a new comment. A new comment? Direct KNPSV in the Netherlands.
On the KNPSV the Netherlands, so just hearing all these comments, we would just like to mention that, of course, we believe that there needs to be looked into other ways to use the flat. We think that's really important, but also consider the fact that if you look like the price quality what IPSF has right now, we believe it's really good. Like you don't pay that much. Well, the rent is high, but well, looking at other places, like we think the price will be even higher. So you have 4 rooms for 900 euros. We don't think you will ever get it anymore. But of course, as an IPSF office helping committee, we are like able to help you guys investigate, start looking at other options, seeing if other things would be even cheaper or possible. So we're more than happy to help you guys. Just be aware of that. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Now we have a new comment from KNPSV the Netherlands.
Hi, me again. Anne KNPSV the Netherlands. So you also stated the MOU in the report. and we were just wondering what the progress on it is, as the GA needs to vote on it. So, well, we didn't see it in the map this year, so is it going to be in the folder next year, or what is the plan for this? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Isaac.
Isaac, Permanent Officer. So for the MOU, EXCO has not finalized on it yet. Can you hear me? Isaac, Permanent Officer. So for the MOU, EXCO has not finalized on it yet. We still have the old one that I'm thinking is still enforced up until we update it with the details, the new details, and then share with, because my understanding with you guys as well when we had the meeting was that you would have to run it by your board for final approval on the draft before we present it to IPSF GA. So I was thinking that up until now, the draft, what we had previously, the letter, not the MOU, would still be enforced until we can finalize the MOU for the OHC.
Thank you. We have a I can't see. Is that one? Direct from KPC Canada.
Farah, KPC Canada. I would like to know how many months are you using actually the rental?
Thank you. She wants to know how many months are you actually using the rental space? Yes, per year. Per year. Mr. Isaac, how many times are you using?
Or how many months is it empty per year?
Okay, Mr. Isaac.
Isaac, Permanent Officer. So we normally, for executive committee, we normally would use it less than 3 months a year. And then if the president would visit also, which is usually less than a week, they use it as well. And then any EXCO member that would be visiting Den Haag for any official business, they also use it. I would say that even that there's still about 6 months where the flat is empty, where nobody stays in there for now. But as the world has opened up more and we're engaging with organizations like the FIP more, we're going to have more people wanting to intern, more students wanting to intern and then go there. I forgot one thing earlier as well. We had a conversation with Anna and Franca before. And we were exploring the idea of having SEP students that wanted to stay in Den Haag for their SEP to also pay a fee, the same fee, and then, use the flat. So right now, it's about 6 months or more that we don't have anybody staying there, but at the same time, we want to explore ways of using it more efficiently. Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have any other new comments? We have a direct from FJCPPHA Philippines.
Thank you for the floor. Moises of JCPPHA Philippines. Since we're talking about the purpose of the flat, I just would like to ask for a clarification probably. If, regarding the purpose of the flat, if we have a physical copies of our documents that needs to be archived physically in the flat. Thank you.
Thank you. We have a point of information from IPSF executives.
Thank you so much, Ryan, IPSF President. I would like to give the GA more information about how the flat was used before COVID, because in COVID it was a different use. So before COVID, we have RWG from Euro using it for all their face-to-face meeting. We have executive committee using it. We have student exchange chairperson using it for their SEC body in-person meetings. We have external chairperson using it as a reference for all events they attend in Europe for a cheaper external representation. We have also been providing it with zero profit for our IPSF students to have internships in FIP office, and it has also been used for any execo members or previous execo member who's doing anything for IPSF in the region, as well as if we need the treasurer to go to the bank in person, which happens frequently as well. It's used before. If we go a few years before that, we had permanent officers living in there as well, and it has been. It's also very close to the FIP office, where there is a headquarter of IPSF, where we have our own, officially our own office with our own address in it. Yes, so this is the clarification that I wanted to make the GA aware of how the flat was used the years before COVID when traveling was more.
Thank you. We have another clarification from IPSF.
Isaac, permanent officer. So to answer your question, most of the documents in person that needs to be archived are in our headquarters, like Ryan said, in the office in the FIP, co-located with the FIP offices.
Thank you. We have a director from AFOP Austria.
Alex, AFIP Austria. We think that the flat as a 30-year project is a good step into the future, and we think it's very good to look further into it.
Thank you.
To promote the growth also of IPSF, to have like a place where students can stay.
Thank you. Do we have any other comments? We have a clarification from IPSF Executive Committee.
Ryan, IPSF President, I would also like to clarify that in order to buy a house or not, this decision will be made by the GA if proposed by the Execo at any point. Thank you.
Thank you. Let me just remind everyone that this motion is to accept and adopt the report of Permanent Officer and Advisory Board, and not just the Permanent Officer alone. So I see no new comments. Any new comments? I see none, so we close the floor for discussion and we proceed to voting. All those against? All those abstaining? All those for? So voting results are 34, 1 against. So motion carried. Thank you. Next motion. We have a point of order.
Point of order on UCRA motions committee. Yes, we actually didn't do presentation of the advisory board report. I mean, as it was already voted on, and if it's fine with you, we do not have to, but...
I asked the General Assembly, I made it aware that the advisory board was also a part of the motion, so, and no questions were raised.
Okay, so it's if it is fine with
You're
the
in the
GA,
clear.
we can leave it.
Congratulations on report acceptance.
Okay.
Motion number 33, proposed by executives. This the 69th IPSF General Assembly accepts and adopts the report of the Policy Coordinator, Training Coordinator, Parliamentary Coordinator, Corporate Relations Coordinator, Organization Membership Coordinator, Individual Membership Coordinator, Affiliations Coordinator, Social Media Coordinator, IT Manager, Pharmacy Education Advocacy Coordinator, Pharmaceutical Sciences Initiative Coordinator, Pharmacy Practice Initiatives Coordinator, Feature and Pen Editor, Clinical Skills Event Coordinator, Compounding Events Coordinator, Pharmacy Profession Advocacy Coordinator, Industrial Skills Event Coordinator, Public Health Advocacy Coordinator, Public Health Activities Coordinator, Humanitarian Coordinator, Visuals and Creativity Coordinator for the 2022-23 mandate. We have a point of information from IPSF Secretary.
Thank you for the floor, sir, and IPSF Secretary General. I just want to raise a point of information that we had late submissions from the IT Manager, Future and Pen Editor, Pharmacy Professional Advocacy Coordinator, Visuals and Creativity Coordinator, as well as the Pharmacy Education Advocacy Coordinator. We also have missing reports from Development Fund Coordinator, Grants Coordinator, Interprofessional Coordinator, Event Manager, Editorial and Translation Coordinator, Branding Director, Internship Coordinator, and Patient Counseling Event Coordinator.
Thank you. We will now open the floor for discussion. IPF Portugal.
Valeria IPF Portugal. We would just like to highlight that some of the reports weren't like very enlightening. So for future mandates, we would like for it to be like more regulated, I guess. I don't know if it's the word, but yeah.
Okay,
Thank you.
Thank you. Recommendation noted. Next we have a clarification. Anne France.
Claire Anne France. Some of those reports are not on the drive. They didn't give it. Did they explain why we don't have it? Thank you.
IPSF Secgen.
Thank you for the floor, IPSF Section Soon. No, I didn't receive any explanations for missing reports.
Thank you. Any other new comments? AFOP Austria, the floor is yours.
Alex, AFIP Austria, we have a question to the IT manager report. Last year, we asked in the GA about the backups, if there were any existing backups and how the backup plan is. And the answer was it will be looked in and it will be tried to get some backups to have a safe transfer of the website. However, in the report, we did not see any mentioning of the backups, which we think is like a huge or like an important part of the job for this year. Is there any comment from the IT manager to this?
Okay, we will direct the question to the IPSF executives.
Isaac, President-elect. So we do have a backup up until, I believe, 2021, Amira's mandate. I don't know which year, 2021, right?
Yeah, 2021.
2021. And then this year, Nazim also did a backup. We're talking about the website, right? Yes.
The clarification from AFOP Austria.
Alex, AFIP Austria, and also for the backups, I'm talking about like all the documents we have, or how recent is also the backup of the website and how often is it made? Is it just once a year or weekly or somewhere in between?
Sorry, IPSF executives.
Isaac, President-elect. So as to the frequency of the backups, I cannot say for sure because that has to be answered by the Chairperson of Media and Publications. But I know I had a follow-up meeting with him and he mentioned that he has done the backup. And that's when he also told me that we have the backup for Amira up to 2021, Amira's mandate. Yes, thank you.
Thank you. Next we have BPHD Germany.
The BPHD Germany. So we noticed that the resignation letter for the IPSF policy coordinator has been missing. So we were wondering if you could give us an explanation to why it was missing and if this has any consequences or what you would do in the future to prevent this. Thank you.
Thank you. IPSF executives.
That's fine, yeah. Ryan, IPSF President. I just want to clarify regarding the current policy coordinator. The resigned one. Okay, yes. The resigned policy coordinator has been contacted many times to provide the report, and she failed to do so. Thus, we are putting it as we did not receive it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. We have a procedural from Anne France. Point of information from IPSF executives.
Isaac, President-elect. So the official document provision that requests for resignation reports does not have any repercussions and does not also state that the GA approves resignation reports. So that's a point of information. So there's not much we can do about that.
Thank you. Procedural motion Anne France.
Pauline Anne France. We would like to raise a procedural motion to split the vote with those who did not write their reports and those who did. Thank you.
Can I clarify, do you mean late submissions or do you mean missing reports?
Pauline Anne France, missing reports.
Missing reports. Point of information, IPSF Section.
Thank you for the floor, IPSF Section Suin. So the coordinators that are in the motions are only the ones that have submitted. Those who did not submit were not put into the motion.
Thank you. Anne France.
Pauline Anne France. So when we will vote for the others?
Separate motion.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. So any new comments? I see none, so we close the floor for discussion and proceed to voting. All those against? All those abstaining? Motion carried unanimously. Next motion, please. Motion number 34, proposed by executives. This, the 69th IPSF General Assembly accepts and adopts the report of the Development Fund Coordinator, Grants Coordinator, Interprofessional Coordinator, Event Manager, Editorial and Translation Coordinator, Branding Director, Internship Coordinator, Patient Counseling Event Coordinator for the 2022-23 mandate. We have a clarification from APEF Portugal.
Beatriz of Portugal. We were told by our group leaders that we would finish the GA at 4:30 and it's 4:40 now. So we would like to know if we are going to keep proceeding until 5 like you said before, or if we are just going to discuss this motion, how we're going to proceed.
Okay, so we will discuss this motion and then we will assess the floor and see if we want to end this and then we can proceed. Alpha Austria.
Alex, AFAP Austria. We from Group 2 were informed that we from the TA will need to meet or leave at 17, so 5, like half an hour later.
Okay. We now open the floor for discussion on this motion. Any new comments? No new comments. So we close the floor for discussion. All those and proceed to voting. All those against? All those abstaining? All those for? Okay, we need to recount. Okay, so all those against? All those abstaining? All those for? First for Romania? Okay. So. Voting. Voting results, 29 against, 2 abstain, motion not carried. Okay, now we'll assess the floor to see if we will proceed until 5 or to end the session. Thumbs up, thumbs down. End, thumbs up. Not end, thumbs down. Okay, so we will be finishing the session for today. We need a proposer and a seconder. KNF's Korea, seconded by my PSA Malaysia. All those against? Motion carried, thank you. So please roll call.
ASEP Algeria, F of Austria, KEPSI Canada, CCPSA Czech Republic, PPSA Poland delegated to CCPSA Czech Republic, ANEF France, BPHD Germany, ISMA FASI Indonesia, PPHSF Pakistan delegated to ISMA FASI Indonesia, IPSA Iran, EPSF Egypt delegated to IPSA Iran, APS Japan, MyPSA Malaysia, KMPSV the Netherlands, QFAS Qatar delegated to KMPSV the Netherlands, FJC PPHA Philippines, and ZEPSO New Zealand delegated to FJC PPHA Philippines, AFE Portugal, LPSA Lebanon delegated to AFE Portugal, LPSA Lebanon, KNF's Republic of Korea, JPSA Jordan delegated to KNF's Republic of Korea, BESFA Romania, NUSPS Singapore, NEPSA Australia delegated to NUSPS Singapore, SPSA Slovakia, DSHFSA Slovenia, CPSA Croatia delegated to DSHFSA Slovenia, PSET Thailand, CPAYC Turkey, BPSA United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland, APHAASP United States of America. Is it all done? Great. Thanks everybody for another session, another day. And I believe the bus is leaving at 5:15 sharp. So yes, be there if you're going to go to the picnic.